Yesterday, Mojang let the world know that there will be 3 new mob choices coming to Minecraft very soon, and our developers have already remade all 3 of them in-game. Today, tomorrow, and the next day, we're going to be showing off what those creatures may look like in Minecraft, so be sure to subscribe to see those renditions. Anyways, today, Mojang shed some additional light on the proposed Moobloom mob. So, what are the facts? Well, right now, we only know 2 things. They live in flower forests, and they get along really well with bees. So, with that knowledge in mind, let's head in-game to see what other features may be coming to the Moobloom alongside those. But now, my friends, we take a look at how this Moobloom may actually end up working in-game. Our very own Caleb has thrown together an awesome concept of the Moobloom. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there's a few things we already know about our Moobloom friend. Namely, we do know that bees like it and that they spawn in flower forests. So, with that in mind, we've got a couple different ideas roaming around our head as to what those things could do. Not too much for now is known about it, but we decided to make our own version. So we're here in the middle of a flower forest, and we've got an actual Moobloom that has spawned in. And as you'll see right off the bat, these bees seem to love this Moobloom. So much so that it's actually pollinated the Moobloom, but more on that in a little bit. Normally, bees need to hang up by flowers for an extended amount of time before they get pollinated. However, if instead there's a Moobloom nearby, they will instantaneously go to the Moobloom and start taking pollination from the Moobloom's flowers atop its back. And look at that, they get pollinated extremely quickly compared to any flowers nearby, while also pollinating our Moobloom friend. But you'll want to be careful with all these bees around this Moobloom, and don't get any ideas. Bees literally love Mooblooms. If you attack a Moobloom, all of the bees around will become angry at you and will attempt to kill you. And they more than likely will kill you. Oh gosh. But Mooblooms have some other uses as well. You can milk them for a special new type of milk. It's known as a sweet milk bucket. And as you can see, it's got a slightly different texture compared to our typical milk buckets. While all you can do with regular milk is clear any potion effects that you currently have, using sweet milk, you can also cure some hunger in addition to some of those potion effects. As you saw right there, what we ended up doing is healing some of our hunger. And you can see it again when we milk this Moobloom very quickly. Check out my hunger bar right down there. Fills up ever so slightly, so it is an added benefit compared to regular milk. Now, as we saw, Mooblooms can get pollinated as bees continue to interact with it. Now, once it is pollinated, it will have some special abilities. You can actually milk a Moobloom that's been pollinated by using glass bottles on it as well to get your hands on some honey bottles. So now you've got a much easier and convenient way of getting honey bottles as opposed to collecting it from any beehives, bee nests, or things of that nature. Now, what's more, if you have a lead handy, you can actually do something even more with our pollinated Moobloom friend. Check this thing out, right? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and attach him right next to our goods right here. And look at this. Mooblooms that have been pollinated will slowly increase the speed at which crops grow. And by slowly, I mean pretty quickly. You can literally see before your eyes as the growth cycles of all of these different crops we've planted are significantly increased when a pollinated Moobloom is nearby. Very useful for any farmers out there. As you can see, we just let this Moobloom hang out for an extended period of time, and all of the crops nearby are pretty much fully grown. Now, you do see that it works within a range, so if you wanted the crops to grow all over the place, well, you'd want to make sure that you did something like, I don't know, bringing your Moobloom a little bit closer to some of the other crops you're hoping to grow. And you could attach various different leads to fence posts around different areas of your farm to ensure that they all got full crop growth. Nice job. But is it Betsy? I mean, regular cows are Betsy. What can I call you? Bloomy? Yeah. Now, you may have noticed that we have managed to attract this Moobloom with wheat. That's because it is similar to other cows currently existing in-game that enjoy wheat. And, as you may have guessed, you can go a little bit crazy with it as well. You can, in fact, breed Mooblooms, and you will get a little baby Moobloom pet. Oh, look at you. But there's no flowers on this one's back. That's part of the adult stage of it, and as such, the other various different effects that you would normally find with Mooblooms are not available in the baby variants. Man, y'all really want this wheat, huh? Pollinating a Moobloom is a simple enough task, but I forgot to mention, if you manage to get your hands on a honey bottle by milking one, it will lose its pollination, which means it will also lose its ability to grow crops extremely quickly, so you'll want to make sure that you have some bees handy so they can repollinate the Mooblooms. Now, while you really shouldn't kill Mooblooms because you'll get the bees real upset at you, they do have some useful items the moment you start messing around with such a theory. So we'll spawn in a Moobloom and we'll kill it. And as you see right here, you can actually get a new type of leather from the Mooblooms. It's known as yellow leather. Say that 5 times fast. Let me try. Yellow leather, yellow leather, the yellow leather. I can't do it. But what I can do is turn that yellow leather into some dyed leather armor, which is just a fun little side effect that has been implemented. Namely, you can make the regular armor with the normal recipes you would expect to, except it comes pre-dyed as a type of leather cap. So now we can go ahead and make ourselves the chest plate, the helmet, we would naturally have the leather pants, ooh baby, and of course the leather boots. And if we were to turn around and look, we already have the armor as completely yellow. So kind of saves you a step, but in my eyes, not worth enough of a reason for you to actually kill the Mooblooms, which is the direction we've seen Mojang take with a lot of new mob implementations lately, where they don't like to provide incentives to killing the creatures because, you know, they're really delicate and fun and no one likes to kill innocent animals. I mean, I do, but I shouldn't. I'm just a bad person. Final major thing of note here, you can in fact shear Mooblooms, and if you do, they will turn into regular cows. However, also something worth noting, you will get a small sunflower for your troubles. Here's what they look like when they are planted down. As you can see, they're pretty much the most adorable type of sunflower I've ever seen. Contrast those with regular sunflowers, and you'll notice right off the bat, the difference in size is, well, very noticeable to say the least. But now you have a new way of decorating with different types of sunflowers as well. Well, it's like a mommy, daddy, baby family. Oh, it's lovely. We round off today's version of the Moobloom by talking technical. These are things more for the map makers and redstone developers out there that may come with a Moobloom's implementation. So as for those technical changes that this mob could bring, it could be nice to have an entity that acts as a flower, as you could move that flower around. As we saw, bees were attracted to this moving flower in the Moobloom, and we could utilize that in other different ways in-game to make some interesting effects when it comes to map making, data packs, or etc. Also, it could be used to greatly increase the rates of farms. Right now, farms are more of an early game way of getting food, bread, carrots. They don't heal quite as much or are easy to farm as, in this case, cooked beef farms or pigs or things of that nature. With the Moobloom, it becomes more of a viable option. Now, as for the overall impact to the game that this mod would bring, honestly, we don't think that the game would change up too much with the Moobloom's implementation from a technical standpoint as well as from a bit of a feature standpoint as well. But we will have to see. Guys, make sure you subscribe to the Logdotzip channel because tomorrow and the next day we will be covering the other 2 new mobs that are going to be announced at Minecraft Live, the Iceologer as well as the Glow Squid, and we'll even have implementations of those in-game as well. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and we'll see you tomorrow.